Evening, everyone. It's 7:23 on this Powell Day, and excuse me. This is video number 1561. I'm at a huge disadvantage, and there will be no daily note tonight because we're having a storm here, lots of wind, and for some reason my computer is on, but the internet is not. My TV works, but the cable doesn't. So I'm going to try and record this, give you the best information I can, and then try and send it out on my iPad, which is still working, with my phone as a hotspot. Okay, so I'm sure that you know by now the market was hugely positive today. Everybody loved what Powell had to say. And the Dow, which was down about 150 when he started to speak, finished the day up 737.42 or 2.18%. But the real winner was the NASDAQ, up 484.22 or 4.4%. That dwarfed everything else. S&P was up 122, which is only 3%. $50 on the Russell, 2.75%, and $280 on the transports, 1.94. We still do not have a resolution for the railway strike. And as I mentioned this morning, Congress is going to kind of try and force the issue, a typical overreach. Okay, as far as the futures went, the oil was up 235 at 80.55. Gold was actually down $3.80, but tonight is up, last I saw, $27. To give you an idea, the silver, which was up 34 cents, continues to move higher and continues to outperform 3 to 1 to the gold. Bitcoin, first close over 17,000 in quite a while, up 615%. And in case you missed it, Sorkin interviewed Sam, whatever the hell his name is, SBF, from FTX. And basically, Sam was very apologetic, and he basically said, the dog ate my homework. I take responsibility for it. It was all my fault, but hey, I didn't know. So we'll see what happens there. The dollar was down 87 cents. Bonds were up 3/8 of a point. And although the oil was up, nat gas was actually down about 30 cents, back under $7. I want to see if I can go back to my original page here. Okay, gold up 29 and silver down 4 cents. And that is reflective of what I was just talking about. It dramatically outperformed today, and this is what happened tonight. S&Ps are up a little tonight, up 9.5. Dow is up $2, and the NASDAQ is basically unchanged. And market internals were particularly strong, 6 to 1 on the NYSE and 3 to 1 on the NASDAQ. What was more impressive, though, was the fact that we did 6.4 billion shares. We had a bit of a nice move here with a lot of news, but it wasn't all good. For example, the JOLTS was still 10.334 million versus 10.687. There are still plenty of jobs available. While pending home sales 4.6 fell 4.6% versus an expectation of 5.2, they were a decline of 8.7 last month. Another pretty major issue was the fact that the Chicago PMI reading, this is one of those $50 is neutral, above 50 is expansion, below 50 is contractionary territory. It came in at 37.2. So you definitely see where we are as far as expansion and uh, contraction. China also reported weaker than expected manufacturing PMI, same situation, 48 versus 46.7. So a little bit better, but still in contraction. Tomorrow we have jobless claims. Naturally, it's Thursday. We also at 8:30 have personal income, personal spending, PCE price index, and PCE price index uh, with a consensus of 0.02 versus last month's zero point 0.5. At 10 o'clock, we have the November ISM expected to be right around that 50 number. At 10 o'clock, we also have October construction uh, expected down zero point 0.2 versus last month's plus zero point 0.2. And we have the at 10:30 the weekly EIA nat gas. Now today the number for the oil came out and showed a draw of 12.5 million versus last week's 3.69. Um, so you can see where the oil got its rally from. And remember, it closed at almost 81 and is in that same 80 and a half, 81 area. It was 73 and change just 2 days ago. Tomorrow we have Big Lots, Dollar General, and Kroger, so all of the discounters before the open. And today, after the close, we had Salesforce. Just to give you an idea, Salesforce beat and revenue was in line. Unfortunately, the stock, which was up, I believe, almost $10. I'll just take a look here. Regular hours, it closed at 160 and a quarter. It was right on the high, exactly on the high, up 857 or 5.65%. It also had added $57 in Dow points to that index, which, by the way, there were only two stocks down, and neither of them very much, Walmart and 3M. In As soon as those numbers came out, CRM took a serious dive, went all the way down the low of the day, 147 and a quarter, the last, which is still a half hour from the actual 8 o'clock cutoff for the electronic session, 149.87, down $1.86. That's a little bit deceiving. It shows down 1.23%. In point of fact, versus the close, it's down $11. And that also means that first thing in the morning, that $57 increase in the Dow will turn into an $80 decrease. So that's probably one of the reasons why the Dow is not performing. Apple was up, Amazon, all of the names that you expect were up. And it really was kind of interesting to see Andrew Ross Sorkin dealing with Sam Bankman about what actually happened at FTX. It's pretty ugly. Okay, and the last chart is the coffee, which we're long. I said this morning when it was down a couple of cents, I would really like to see it close above this high, which was 170, 145. It actually had a high of 170.65 and closed 169.90, still up a dollar. And that is the, let's just see, the options that we own closed at $1.39, up 8. I still had an order in, the high was 142. I still have an order in at 170 for a 100% up rule. And the stock actually was a little bit stronger than the actual commodity. Another one that we bought some SI, which is Silvergate. It's an incredibly well run bank, but also it was in the Bitcoin lending business, except that where Bankman uh, was leveraged sometimes between 10 and substantially higher leverage, this bank, in lending to Michael Saylor, he's MSTR, MicroStrategy, a company that borrowed money to buy more Bitcoin for its balance sheet. They took out a loan from Silvergate, and instead of having leverage, they're over collateralized. Um, what that means is for every dollar that they lent MSTR, they received $5 in collateral. So exactly the opposite. Okay, folks, that's about it. I wish there was more that I could do. I'd like to be able to put out a daily note, but I guess it's just not going to happen tonight because everything is still off except my computer. All right, I'll be back first thing in the morning with all of those earnings and uh, the economic numbers. Have a good evening. I hope everyone had a good day today.